everybody, how's it going? I'm Zero.
I'm DK.
And I'm Rizzo, and today in Anime Reaction, we watch the 5th episode of Demi-chan wa Kataritai. If you want to check out our reaction to the 5th episode of Interviews with Monster Girls, hit that link in the description below.
And be sure to give us feedback in the comment section because we love hearing from you.
And as always, if you like what you see, subscribe to Otaku Saga, and don't forget to like and share our videos.
And thanks for watching. So, on this episode of Interviews with Monster Girls,
We finally get our Yuki focus episode. They've been teasing at it for a while.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I would have to say that I'm not as interested in it as I was with some of the other ones, but she's also my least favorite out of the whole group.
Well, think of it this way then. We get that out of the way, and then we can get back to our favorite characters.
More sake.
Or, as the preview says, more Hikari.
Darn.
Animoto.
Well, that's not too bad. Yeah, so in the first half, it is literally the interview with Yuki.
And it starts off with a very dramatic bath scene.
Yeah.
Very depressing one, actually.
Basically, we see her in the bath, and she's looking at her reflection in the water, and then all of a sudden, the bathroom is a freezer, and she's in a frozen solid bathtub. And we see like a Yuki Onna version of her in the mirror.
It's pretty.
Like classic Yuki Onna, like white kimono, all that.
Yeah, the inside of her
the
mind.
spirit's headpiece.
Yeah.
I think that was part of it.
But yeah, we see that that's kind of a mental image that she had going on there.
Yeah, the inside of her mind is not a pretty place to be, apparently.
Well, so during her interview, she's talking about when she was growing up, which basically she grew up in a smaller town out in the countryside up north where it's much cooler and snows all the time. Well, not all the time, I imagine, but a fair bit of the time. And so she was never that uncomfortable with her Yuki Onna aspect of herself.
Blended right into her environment.
Yeah. But that kind of changed when she moved to Tokyo to go to school, and started going to school. And she was sitting in the bathtub one day and was thinking about how, she had left behind all, her home for basically her entire life and all of her friends and everything. And then she noticed, she was feeling really bad about it. And then she noticed that there was chunks of ice floating in the hot bathtub. And that freaked her out. Because in her mind, if she can cause a, what would she say, 40 degrees Celsius bathtub to freeze, then, then what's stopping her powers from freezing somebody solid if they frighten her or something like that?
Which, in technicality, she totally could do.
Maybe. It doesn't outright state that she's that powerful, but if her powers did become that level of power, then I guess she could freeze somebody if she was given enough time. I just don't think her powers are that powerful.
Well, we certainly haven't seen the extent of her power.
Yeah.
But she has the potential to, and that frightens her.
Yeah. And so that's the reason why she ended up being really reclusive in high school, kind of staying away from everybody and things like that. Until
that episode in the PE room where she overheated.
Yeah.
And
well, she hid the fact that she was a Yuki Onna until that episode. And then when the guy tried to touch her, she just screamed out, "I'm a Yuki Onna!
I'll be fine when I cool down."
Flop.
And then passed out. And well, we saw what happened with that in the first episode. But ever since then, she had been basically even more kind of reclusive, I guess.
Because it was one of those things she didn't want anybody to know, and she just kind of wanted to blend in and just not have it.
She wanted to be normal.
Yeah.
But this is anime. And you're a main character. You can't be normal.
Yeah, not at all.
Well, not entirely, but
Yeah, so this gets Takahashi Sensei thinking about, what's the cause of like the water to freeze. And so their lunch period ends and he asks her to come back after school. In the meantime, he goes and researches all the Yuki Onna legends that he can get his hands on.
Cram.
Yeah, he basically crams all the Yuki Onna material.
that's a lot of research in a lunch period.
I'm not sure that.
No, he was
the rest of the
researching
day.
during school. So I'm wondering if he doesn't have any classes in the second half of school or something.
Maybe.
Because I mean he
Either
had,
that
like,
or he was like, yeah, somebody fill in for me, or he probably more likely he was like, yeah, today's class is a study hall, and then left. Actually, I would like to see that. Just him. Yep, today's class is a study hall, and then turns around and leaves to go research.
See how often he does it.
The reason why I always say that is because like we come back after school and he like we
His
watch him.
desk is just.
We watch him go through all these books and he's like 3 stacks of books.
Well, yeah, not only that, it makes it pretty obvious that he's researching it during class time, especially since the lunch period had already ended
Yeah.
when Yuki left. But so after school, they're talking about it some more, and she talks about like her tears freezing or creating cold air out of her body, and he asks about her sweat, to which she replies that she doesn't really sweat that much. And so he decides to run a little experiment where he gets, well, first of all, he just ups and leaves the room.
Well, this is actually after during a little instant. I think that this experiment like came out of nowhere because during the interview part after school, he's sitting there recurring the legends to her and notices that she's getting really cold and that he can feel the cold air, and so he gets the idea that maybe this is because she's nervous. So before continuing on any further, he was like
Yeah, he doesn't say a fucking word and just walks out and then comes back with a basin of hot water. And so he has her dip her feet into the hot water while she reads the legends. And basically he's keeping an eye on her feet. And when basically she reads through all these legends, which, by the way, I really love the way that the legends were animated.
well, this episode just in general, the transitions between real life and the legends or real life and the things that are happening in Yuki's mind,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, I mean, transitions aside, I just like the way that they animated the legends. Kind of,
It's like shadow puppets,
yeah, kind of.
but kind of inverse the colors, sort of.
Yeah. But so while she's reading, he's looking at her feet, and then he goes to stop her because he knows that she's feeling really uncomfortable. And then he looks down one more time, and he's like, "Oh, wait, look!" And then she looks down at her feet and sees little frozen
Shards
sweat.
of ice.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's frozen sweat coming off of her feet because she's nervous. And basically, he takes a couple and puts them in a petri dish, and then he explains. So basically, when you get nervous, when you have some emotional instability, people tend to sweat. Like, people's hands will get really clammy and things like that. In her case, she sweats in her feet. Her feet sweat a lot.
it's what people call cold sweats.
Well, I mean, it is really called cold.
I know it's called cold sweat, but that pun still hurts.
It's But I think it's more of a unintentional pun, though.
Unintentional wordplay.
Unintentional wordplay, because it is called cold sweats, but
It's still a groaner.
I mean, when you have cold sweats, it really does feel cold, clammy. So I can see how the author made that leap. But maybe not unintentional wordplay, but more. I can definitely let that one slide. I don't even consider that one to be a groaner.
It's still punny.
It's still very funny.
But then we get a little funny bit with.
Then we get an actual groaner from Takahashi Sensei.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. What was the actual groaner again? Because we had a couple of them that were like, oh god, really?
I put it out of my mind. I don't remember it at all.
But yeah, then we got a little funny bit where he like puts a lid on the petri dish. She's like, "What are you planning on doing with my frozen sweat?" Oh, I'm gonna take this down to the college and have some of my friends analyze it.
This sets Machi off, or not Machi. Damn it, Yuki. This sets her off like a firecracker.
Oh, that would be nothing short of sexual harassment.
Oh, you're being so cold.
That one was
was the groaner.
Well, no, there was an actual groaner where like he says something, and she just like.
Yeah, because I'm a snow woman.
Well, no, he says something, and then like there's just a dead air.
Where he realizes
and then he's
how
like,
bad it was.
But the one where he's like, "You're so cold," and she responds in kind. Well, that's because I'm a Yuki Onna.
Right. Did he have a moment like that with when he first talked to Hikari? Because we had a little punny moment after he interviewed Machi as well.
Well, I really can't remember.
Yeah, well,
I'd have to watch it again.
3 for 3.
But so the next part.
Yuki, Machi, and Hikari go out for ice cream. Num num num.
Yeah, basically they go out for ice cream, but they're still acting really awkward around Yuki.
Yeah, because like Hikari realizes that she was being a little
too clingy.
Yeah, a little too clingy, and it was
a little too forward, I think.
Yeah, it was making Yuki uncomfortable, so she backed off a little bit.
But now she doesn't know where the line's drawn,
which has made everybody uncomfortable.
Oh, especially Yuki.
Yeah. Oh, Yuki and Hikari, and then Machi is sitting there going, this is really, really weird.
Yeah. But yeah, long story short, they finally, I guess, break the ice. And they hug it out, and then Hikari asks Yuki, "Can I bite you?"
No, just like through your clothes.
What?
And oh my god.
Can I bite you? What? Would you suck my blood?
No,
just through your clothes.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes my teeth itch, and I just get the need to bite somebody. Oh, okay.
No. Oh my god. And then you see like a kind of weird, almost over the shoulder angle. Oh yeah, where Hikari's going to town on Yuki, and then Yuki turns just so slightly, and you see Hikari's face, just that cartoony ass, straight out of One Punch Man face.
They use a lot of cartoony faces in this episode, like just the 2 dots on the face.
Oh yeah, yeah. But Hikari's nomming face, when you first get a glimpse of that was hilarious.
And they pause, and Yuki asks, "So before, how did you take care of this tooth itch?"
Oh, I just asked Himari. And then we get a little scene where where the 2 sisters are at home. Himari. Nom nom.
Go ahead.
Nom 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 nom.
Turn the page, will ya?
That was really funny.
That was.
Let's see. After that, we get a section where they're at school and they're more and they're getting along during lunch.
Actually, before that, I wanted to point out the little bit with Takahashi where he's walking out of school and he happens to pass by them.
Oh, well, they're at the ice cream stall thing.
Yeah, he has this conversation with himself in his mind about the fact that there really isn't that many upbeat or
upbeat or not scary monster stories.
Yeah, all the legends are
specifically Yuki Onna.
But most legends are very down, depressed.
Monster stories are monster stories for a reason. Like the monsters are created, like real life in myths. The monsters are created to scare people.
Yep.
So none of them are happy. So.
But it's just one of those interesting things that he points out to himself. That he points out to everybody else. That there are no good legends.
And then while he's walking, he sees Yuki sitting with Hikari and Machi, and he basically says he's not worried about that with Yuki because she has Hikari and Machi as friends.
There's never been a group like this before.
Yes, there's never been a group like this in Legend before.
Unless you count Monster Musume as a legend.
But they don't get along. What are you talking about? That's a horror story.
But
from a certain point of view.
But it's funny.
Yeah, so then we get a bit with where they're getting along at school and they're eating lunch together on the rooftop.
But that guy did mention like Yuki's never looked that happy as he walked past.
Oh, that's right.
We get to see the kid. It's not really the faux hawk. It's one of those hairdos where you get the bangs sticking up. Not sure what that's called, but it's like everything else is slicked forward. The bangs are slicked up. But yeah, he basically passes by and mentions to his friend, "Oh, hey, I've never seen Kusakabe looking that happy before." And so he continues walking on, and then Takahashi Sensei comes up, and he starts talking with them, and then Yuki notices that Takahashi refers to both Yuki and Machi by their last names, but refers to Hikari as Hikari. Not Hikari-chan or anything like that. No honorifics, just Hikari.
And Hikari names everybody by nicknames. But most of the teachers she still calls name
so and so
name and the honorific.
Yeah, except Takahashi
and
Saki. Yeah. But yeah, Takahashi she just calls Sensei. Well, that's kind of getting ahead of ourselves. So Yuki mentions that Takahashi refers to Hikari as Hikari, and he's like, "Oh, that's because of Himari-chan." And she goes, "Chan,
you added Chan
to that." And then so we get that again funny look with both Takahashi and Hikari, where it's the dots for eyes.
Oh god, it's hilarious.
Like, okay, Takanashi
Sensei.
Or no, Takanashi is Hikari's last name.
Oh, okay, right.
Takahashi.
Yeah,
I understand.
He's the confusion.
Yeah.
But Takahashi. Yes, Takahashi Sensei. See, it just feels weird. Okay. Hikari-chan. Hikari. Yep.
Just right.
Okay, I get your point now.
Goldilocks and the 3 honorifics.
Right. Then we get the part where Takahashi mentions how they refer to him as just Sensei instead of Takahashi Sensei.
Even though we go through Hikari going through different teachers, and calling them by the entire name.
And then what about Sato Sensei?
Oh, Saki. You're friends with her?
Yeah, you're friends with her. Then we get a very cute moment where he leans down and calls Machi Kyoko, I believe is her name.
Yep.
Just Machi is fine.
We got
little
the 3 take again. Kyoko.
And just the way Machi's face lights up. Oh my god, that was adorable.
Yep. And then
Something else lit up too, which is
the chimney.
She definitely holds a flame for Takahashi-sensei.
And then at that point, Hikari and Machi remember that they have gym class coming up next, so they have to run and go change. And so Takahashi is getting ready to leave, and he turns and calls Yuki. And we get an adorable scene with her.
Triple combo.
And then as they're running to gym, they pass by that same guy. Jabroni-kun. Starts with an S. I don't remember the entire thing. But
That's fine. So, no one else does.
Right?
He's not a major enough character for me to care.
Exactly.
He's a dude.
Exactly.
He's not a main character, and he's a dude in, well, really, a harem anime, let's be honest.
Oh, well, yeah.
But Hikari and Machi end up passing him, and he's like, "Hey, Hikari, why don't you give me a nickname too?"
Right, because they overheard the whole thing.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. Apparently, he's a supporting character in his own school. Not just the anime.
Ouch.
Poor guy. He's not even listed.
Yeah.
And then at that point, Yuki catches up to him, and she thanks him for basically putting her on a stretcher and carrying her to the infirmary, and then asks him if he wants to go ahead and hang out since he had asked her earlier. To which we get the epic, "Yeah, so you can." And then realization after school when the hangout is going to be like him and 6 girls.
Awkward.
Very awkward.
Very awkward. However, I wouldn't necessarily complain.
I think we wouldn't complain, but that only comes with experience. Our boy here, though.
That would be very awkward. Yeah.
Your first time with a group of girls could be.
At least one more dude would help.
At least one more. But in their position, though, it would still be terrifying.
Like, even being in the car with 2 girls for a extended period of time was awkward.
No.
Especially being the one in the backseat.
That's definitely one of the major themes of this episode, just awkwardness. It works, though.
Yep. Yeah, it was another good episode.
Very much so.
Now that we've gotten past the initial interviews phase, I'm interested to see where the series goes after this.
I don't think we've gotten one for Sake.
No, we haven't gotten one for Saki, but I don't know. I think hers is going to be a little different.
That was me. Probably under different
I can almost imagine that she probably won't even want to be in that confined of a room with him.
Alone.
Well, yeah, that confined of a room alone with him.
Define want.
She wants to.
But
she's also very mindful of her powers, and therefore I don't think
very
that she
cautious.
would. So, I'm not sure exactly. I'm still interested to see where the series goes from here.
I think that Takahashi certainly has her kryptonite. Somehow.
Well, he can only hunch over so far. So often.
Right.
I mean, it worked one time. There's no guarantees, though. But next episode, we're getting back to everyone's favorite vampire sisters.
Well, vampire and her sister.
Yeah, vampire and her sister. Yeah, it looks like they have a little bit of a sibling squabbling going on.
What do you mean? Sisters don't fight.
Anyway.
Title of said episode.
Anyway, so let us know what you thought of the anime, what you thought of our reaction in the comment section below.
Yep, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't.
But that's going to do it for this episode of Anime Reaction. As always, I'm DK.
I'm Zero.
And I'm Rizzo. See you
next
next time.
And go ahead and click on my face to go to our most recent Otaku Saga talks.
Click on my face to go to Otaku Saga Gaming, our gaming channel.
And click on the waifu to subscribe to Otaku Saga and check out our new and improved Patreon page.